Hello, welcome to class. My name is Tolulope Adetunji, and I'm glad to be holding this class to pass on knowledge on things you can do with Ankara. So I'll be teaching you how to make Ankara notepads. It's quite easy to make once you follow the process. Trust me, you'll get it. So come along for the ride. So here is a list of what you need for this class. Very, very important. You need a notebook and your pen. You need your tape roll, scissors, of course, Ankara fabrics. See, I have different patterns here. Ankara fabrics. Your top bond. Can you see it? Top bond. And of course, your notepad. Yeah, the hardcover notepad. You can have it in different sizes. I think there's still one smaller than this, but you can have, so long you have the hardcover. Yeah, and please let it be good quality notebooks. Can you see this? This is a product of Paperline. The products are good. Yeah, so I will recommend this kind of notepads. Your brush. This is an artist brush. I kept mine sealed. It's even hard. Yeah, it usually does that because of the glue. So you need this. Yeah, you need something like this. So you can use Toothpick, but I prefer this because it's long and stronger than your Toothpick. And then office pins. I have my office pins kept here. So I have a big on top. Then embellishments. If you want to embellish your notepads, like there are different ways you can embellish it. It's not necessary but if you want, just to give it a kind of uplift, make it more beautiful and attractive. Yeah. Well, I'm a fan of colorful prints. You don't really need to do much, to bring out the beauty. You can as well use plain patterns, but I prefer this quite dull. It's a fabric piece that I have at home. I'm not sure I'll be using this. You can see how colorful and beautiful the prints are. Yeah, so here's another one. And here's another one. But this one is a small piece. I won't be using it. Yeah, I forgot to mention a template. This is important because it saves you time, it saves you energy. For example, now I've had this template for about a year, yeah? More than a year, because I used this sometimes last year for a particular project, and I've had it since then. So it saves you time. You just pin this on your fabric and cut out. And once you have that first strip of fabric, you can use that as a template to cut out as many as you want by folding. So it saves you a lot of time and stress. And here is how you can get your template measurement out. You take a measurement of your notebook in the raw form. Yeah, so how do I show you this? Okay, so I think it works this way. Yeah, you can see that my what's it called, the edge of my tape roll, the measurement starts from here because the fabric has to go into this front page and into the back page. Can you see? So it makes it, and then I put into consideration this ridge here, because the fabric is also going to go into here. If you don't take cognizance of this measurement here and here, no matter how minute the measurement might be, it will affect your overall measurements. Meaning that now, for example, if I choose to ignore that measurement, I'll have something like something like 9 point something inside here. So by the time I'm gluing down my fabric and pressing it in, it will be outer, and you will see the reason why it's important to take note of that measurement. It will be outer, and this may not cover it properly, this white part, because finishing is very important. Like, I'm very particular about neat finishing in whatever I'm making. So if you don't take cognizance of that measurement, it's going to affect your overall finish. So now, taking the measurement of this from cover to cover, like inside here, you can even use this what's it called, the folder. This is a cover. What is inside this thing is actually a thick cardboard. So this is something, this glossy paper, patterned glossy paper, or picture glossy paper. It's just adding beauty. It's a form of cover on the original cardboard that is the skeleton of the book itself. So before this white part was laid on it and glued down, this glossy print was folded in. You can see it here. You can see it here, all the way here. So you can just use that as a guide for your measurement, like to get the measurement of your Ankara print. So that's what I did, and it's just about half of an inch in. So it's about half of an inch in. So if you don't want to go through the stress of measuring in and out, you can just take this measurement from here to here. This is from here to here. This is 4. So that means 4 times 2 will be 8. Take this measurement here. This is like half an inch. That's 8.5. Then we already established that here to here is like the folding inside, this glossy fold inside is 0.5. That's 0.5 times 2. That's 1 inch. So we have 8.5 plus 1, that's 9.5. But to be on the safer side, I added extra half inch. Okay, so now we've gotten the dimension for the book width from cover to cover, like from this edge inside here to the back edge inside here. And like I said earlier, I added half an inch extra. So what we got from the measurement was 9.5 inches. With half an inch extra, we have 10 inches, just to be on the safer side. Now for the length of the book, I'm doing the same thing. If you look closely, you will see the fold inside here. You can feel it here, you see there. So if you like, you can remove this silver edge from your tape roll to make it easier for measurement, and then you take it all the way down like this into here. Here we have 7 inches. We have 7 inches here. So that's the measurement for our length. So once you're done getting the dimension of your book in its raw form, you transfer that measurement onto a paper or cardboard. Cardboard is better. If you can get a thick cardboard or old carton, something thick will last longer. But I use this because that was what was close by when I was doing mine. So, and then you take the measurement, you measure out on paper and cut. So you can see this is like 10 inches by 7 inches. Yeah, and please remember to label it. If you look closely, you see that I have mine labeled. Can you see it? Yeah, it's good to label it. So now for my project, I think I have a pre-cut here. I still have one extra cut out piece that I'm yet to use. Can you see? Can you see? It makes my work a lot easier. So now that I need like I have 5 notebooks here that I'm to cover, and I already have one strip of fabric already measured and cut out. So I need 4 more. I'm just going to pin this. Excuse me. I'm just going to pin this to my fabric. Which one am I using? Okay, I'm going to do 2 each. I'm going to do 2 each of these fabrics. So it's very easy. Well, it's easy. Yeah, if you put your mind to it, it's easy. So what I'll do is this. Can you see? I'm laying this fabric on this the big one. I'm going to pin it down. I already have it pinned, and then I'll make a fold so that I can just cut out once. Okay, let me pin it well. I'll be right back. Okay, I just thought to show the pinning process for those who may not be familiar with it. So I'm quite familiar with it because I learned tailoring at some point. So this is what you do. You hold the fabrics together firmly and as close together, like what is it called now? Accurately placed as possible. You can see edge to edge. You can't really tell. Except I turn it, you won't know there is another fabric behind. Can you see? So you lay it properly and then you pin. I have 2 pins here already, and then you straighten out because at times when you pin the fabric folds and it might affect your measurement. So when you pin, you make sure you pull it gently. Then also note that cotton fabrics, like Ankara cotton fabrics, are more preferred. They are easier to handle. They won't be slippery. I think I have one Ankara fabric that's quite, I don't know whether it has nylon or something. You can't, I don't think you can really see, but it has this kind of, this one is even still better compared to some. It's still thick, but there are some that are kind of slippery, and I feel they will be harder to work with. I'm partial to good quality cotton fabrics. I prefer them. Okay, so here's another pin, and then I'll pin the side too. As you are pinning, just ensure that you place your fabric. If it has, in case it shifts, you position it properly. So now I'm done pinning, straightening out, and then I'll fold. Can you see? I'm folding right here. Before you form the crease, make sure that your fabric is also well laid at the other side. Make sure it's well laid at the other side before you crease it down, and then you gently crease down along this edge here. Gently crease down. Can you see? What I usually do is I use my table, the edge of my table, to straighten the crease. Yeah. These are hacks you learn in tailor shops. But it helps. Can you see? Can you see the crease? Yeah. So I'm done creasing. So what I'll do now is I'll do now is I'll take this pin here and hold the, I have three fabrics now, three fabrics. So I'll pull out the pins and hold, the pins were holding down just the already cut fabric and the first layer before. So now I'm going to use the pins to hold down the three fabrics together at once, so that it will be easy to cut out. Yeah. So can you see the pin now? Is it visible? I don't know. I'm not seeing it clearly, but I hope you can see it. This is a pin. So I'll do the same across board. Don't worry if they're not perfectly aligned. It does not really matter like that, but just strive for good alignment, for the fabrics as much as possible. Okay, so that's done. And be careful, the pin just poked my finger. Be careful. Well, it happens when you work with things like this, you get poked from time to time. Yeah. So there we have it. So I'm going to trim. Always ensure that you have very sharp scissors, and whatever scissors you use for fabrics, please don't use for paper, because when you use for paper, the scissors gets blunt and won't work on your fabric. It won't cut your fabric. So when you have, like, just buy two, one for paper, one for fabrics. So that's what I'm going to do. Since I don't have much fabric left on this side, like, I'll just cut through to the edge of this fabric and then trim off the excess to be easier to handle that way. One thing is this: when you're working, always look for ways to make your work easier. Now, instead of trimming this down while still holding this large portion of the fabric, I'll just trim this way. That way I've eliminated the remaining fabric, the excess, the bulk part of the fabric, so it will be easier for me to handle and remove this little excess on the side. I hope you get it. You can see it's fun. So now I'm going to trim. Can you see how sharp my scissors is? Can you see? You will hear that crisp cutting sound. If your scissors is in good condition, you will hear it. So this is off. Ta-da! Thank you. So now it's time to trim this off. Just be careful. Now, if I were doing all four, covering all 5 notebooks in this same print, I would have found a way to fold 4 times. So instead of going this way, that's the length, I would have used the breadth of the width, the lower part of the fabric to get 4. It doesn't really matter, except you are, I don't know, a perfectionist that wants the pattern aligned in the same way. No, my perfectionism does not reach that level. Yeah, so just find a way to make it work for you easier. And truthfully, no scrap of fabric is a waste. None is a waste. So this is something that can go into another project. Yeah. So I keep my fabric scraps as much as I can. So now, just going to separate this, and then we'll move on to the more interesting part of it. So it's usually good that if you have like a bulk project, your prep work is very important. It makes your work easier. And you can just dedicate a day to, cut out your fabrics. If you have different sizes of notepads, once you have your templates, You just cut out your fabrics and separate, just have them separately, so that when it's time for you to start working on your notepads, it's easy. Now onto the second fabric. It's just the same process. So I'll be right back once I'm done cutting the fabric. Yeah, welcome back. So I have my fabrics. So 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to start work now. One thing I've also noticed is that at times it gets confusing knowing which is the front and which is the back, especially when the fabric, like the front and back, are very close. Now for me, this is the front of this fabric. But if you look at the back, can you tell the difference? What helps me know the front from the back now is this thing. That's why I don't remove this white strip that has the print, the writing on it. So that way I can tell. But at times, what if the fabric doesn't have? Just go with your instincts. And so I'll be starting now. This is my first fabric. Here's my notebook. Here's what you do. Now there are different types. Some people pad, I don't know if you've come across books, not necessarily fabric books, but sometimes leather and sometimes velvet. Yeah, so that same kind of soft to the touch, not hard like this. Yeah, they are padded, but I won't be doing the pad. Maybe another time, another lesson, I would teach that. So here you go. Can you see? I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get a feel. Yeah. So I think, yeah, good. So the first thing I do is the spine. I secure the fabric here at the spine so that it doesn't shift. So that it doesn't shift while I'm working here. I now have excess of fabric and then there won't be enough of fabric here. For example, maybe assuming I start from here and I glue it down while I'm pulling, this has shifted, and then I get here. You remember I said we are still going to put the fabric down into this groove. After I now get here, I put it down in the groove and I'll do this. By the time I get here, see what I have left. See, it will barely enter inside the book cover. So that's why I do my spine first. I think this is the back. I'm not even sure anymore. Yeah, this is the back. Here's where your brush comes in. It's my top bond. Can you see what I'm doing? I forgot to rinse my brush in water. It's a bit, that's why it's just scattering the glue. It's a bit hard at some points. I'm supposed to have soaked it in water for a while to put it back in shape. So just make sure that, see, can you see what I was saying the other time? It has moved. Just ensure that your what's it called, your book is on the center where it's meant to be, so that it won't affect your fabric on either side. Hey, don't poke my eye. So I have that down.